Hello, my name is Luis from luisreviewer.com. I'm gonna try to do the intro really short because I don't want to make the video too long. Um, I made a post on my website about my favorite 15 albums. I did that few years back. Today I'm gonna extend it a little bit and do a little bit of update. So if you go to my page and see that this video has a few albums that were not included on that list, this is why. I checked it out today, and there was, the albums that were in that list, I like them, but I made a few changes. I eliminated a few and added, and I listed up to 25. That's why I don't want to make the video too long, but I want to make a few things clear. Not every album that's on this list comes from what I would consider my favorite artist. These are just albums that are special to me for some reason. There may not be masterpieces, there might be better albums, but these are my favorite. These are albums that over the years I just go back to them again and again and again. And for some reason I just like them. Some maybe people will agree. Others you might wonder what is that? Hopefully, if you don't know one of the albums I mentioned, just check it out. You might like it. I don't know. But like I said, this is not an absolute list of the absolute greatest albums of all time. No, these are my favorite albums. These are albums that I just keep listening to it. I can listen to it as many times as I can. So I just wanted to start with that because my main focus and my main goal is to share what I like, and if you like it, then you can. I always encourage you to put your comments if you want to share your favorite albums. But this is not to create a controversy or fighting, or that's not the point. Really, I just want to share my love of music, my love of movies. In this case, it's music. Um, I'm a very musical guy. I love music. Music to me, it's been a friend. It's been a way to express things. Um, so I hold music very dear. So these albums, some are deep, some are just fun. Like I said, some are bands that uh, aren't by no means the best bands ever, but I just love that album for some reason. So I'm gonna start. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna start with a weird one maybe, but it's an album. I don't even know the year it was released. I think it was 1985 or maybe early 90s. It's a local band from Puerto Rico. They only made this one album or maybe two, but this album. The band is called Words for Two. Like I said, you might not know them. I might show you a picture of the cover. I don't know if you can see it. No, I don't think you'll be able to see it that much. But anyway, it's a local band. Um, for some reason that album I had it on cassette, and it was out of print for a lot of years. So when I finally found it on digital, I was so happy. It's kind of a new funk thing. It's not rock, it's pop. It's not danceable, but it's a little bit techno. I don't know. It defines the genres. Um, but I just love the songwriting of the record, and the song "Shadows," which ends the album, always stuck in my memory. And it's a fine album. Just check it out if you like. I wanted to get the weird one out of the way because I know not many people will know of that record, but I admit I listen to it still, and I do like it a lot. There's just good songs in it and good lyrics. I really like the lyrics on some of the songs. Um, so that was 25. So 24, I'm gonna look back to my rock years in the 80s, and it's an album uh, by Motley Crue called Dr. Feelgood. I'm not a big fan of Motley Crue. Maybe I like a few songs here and there, but this is the only album that I like completely. I just think it has good tracks on it, and I mean, Dr. Feelgood is a good rock song. Kickstart My Heart, I just love that one. Without You, Don't Go Away Mad, and the last song, well, some might find it cheesy maybe, but I love it. Time for Change. So, Dr. Feelgood, great record. So for my next album on 23, I actually got this recently, but it's Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. I mean, Tom Petty is a great artist, and I'm still to hear all the Heartbreaker albums to say, but he's one of those artists that I love the greatest hits records. But this one is a great record. Free Falling, I Won't Back Down, Love Is a Long Road, Running Down a Dream, You're So Bad. This is a great record by a great artist, by a great songwriter. Okay, so here we go. Number 22. Yeah, number 22. I want to say something else. Mm, Up until 5, I'm not necessarily putting these albums in order as to which ones I like best. It's too hard. The top 5 are definitely my favorite albums. But up to 5 upwards, no order. So this is it's the Carpenters, Horizons. I love Karen Carpenter's voice. This album is really somber for them. They're a pretty happy-go-lucky duo. But this album is kind of somber. But I love the song selection on this album. From the new ones like Only Yesterday to Desperado, which I think is an Eagles cover. The classic Please Mr. Postman, Happy, Caught Between Goodbye and I Love You. It's just a beautiful record. And Richard Carpenter is a great arranger and a great uh, composer of the music. I think he had a lyricist. But this is an album that I heard it because my father left it at home. And, I always loved it. I used to listen to it. Even before I knew who they really were. But this is a good album for me. Okay, so at number 21, I'm putting Led Zeppelin 3. Now, Led Zeppelin is my second favorite band behind the Beatles. And this is a great record, kind of an acoustically fit album. Um, After the heavy albums, Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, uh, this album has so many good tracks. And I love Tangerine, and That's the Way. Great record. By the way, some bands will repeat albums. Sorry about that, but I can't help it. If I like a band, I like a band. Um, the next album, I'm gonna put Striper, To Hell with the Devil. Now, this is a big record for me in the 80s. Me and my friends, my neighbors used to pretend we were this band because we really liked this record. I think it's their best, and they're still making good music. So, I mean, the Calling for You, I love that track. Honestly, classic. Away, Holding On, it's a beautiful song. More Than a Man, All of Me, Striper. Great record, great band. Okay, I'm trying to go quickly, so I don't want to make the video too long. But next I have Poison, Flesh and Blood. This kind of not too proud to say it, but I like it. This isn't, like I said, this is not the best band ever or the best musicians, but it's a record that I like. I like Flesh and Blood, On Skinny Bob, Fun, Let It Play, Life Goes On. Ride the Wind is a great track. Something to Believe in, to me, is a beautiful song. So this is a kind of maybe I'm a little bit ashamed of it, but I like it. So Flesh and Blood by Poison is a good album, and I enjoy it. So next I got. Is there something I need to say? Metallica, Master of Puppets. From the opening, Battery, Master of Puppets. What a track! It's got to be one of the best Metallica songs, and the thing that should not be great track. The last album featuring Cliff Burton. Uh, Welcome Home Sanitarium, one of my favorite tracks. Disposable Heroes, Orion. This is a great album. So for this next one, I don't have the record, but it's Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction. Not my favorite album by Guns. I prefer Use Your Illusions 1 and 2, but nonetheless it's a great record. Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle, Raw. I mean, it's a raw rock and roll record, and at that time, when everything was rock, but the party rockers and all that. Sorry. Um, this was a really needed for rock. Great record. Slash, Axel, Rocket Queen, Michelle. Great album. So, number 16, I got the first entry by my favorite band, the Beatles, and it's Rubber Soul. This to me is like the album where you can see the transition coming. Like you knew they were going places. I mean, the stuff before is great. I mean, I love Help, Hardest Night, all those records. I mean, this band didn't put a bad album, but album is truly a special one. I mean, Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man, The Word, Michelle, In My Life, one of John's best songs. Just the cover. I mean, these guys knew how to put a cover. I mean, what a cool picture. Great record. And ironically enough, the next album I have on my list is the album that I think was inspired by Rubber Soul. And then this guy's inspired Sgt. Pepper. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. These guys, like I said, I'm a fan of the Beach Boys. I like some of the songs, but this album, I mean, Brian Willison was a genius in terms of the compositions, the arrangements, the vocal harmonies. I mean, these guys were really talented, and I think this album I like because it kind of moved away from the surfing kind of thing. This is a great album, and it's one of the best albums ever. Um, I like Sloop John B. Wouldn't It Be Nice? The themes in the album are deep. I mean, uh, Brian Wilson really did dug deep for this record. I mean, God only knows what a beautiful song and a beautiful arrangement and a great backing vocals by the band. Okay, so the next one will have to be, I'm already in the top 14, New Jersey by Bon Jovi. This is it's a very special record for me. I've always been a fan of Bon Jovi. I think I stopped really liking their records maybe after uh, Keeping the Faith, but they always release good songs. And I think not the last album, the one before, What About Now, was good, had good tracks. But I think they drifted away from being a band, and it feels now like it's Bon Jovi with sidemen. Maybe that's why Richie Sambora left. I don't know. But this is a good album. This is, I mean, all the tracks. Lay Your Hands on Me, Bad Medicine, Born to Be My Baby, Leave It in Sin, Blood on Blood is great, one of my favorites. Wild is the Wind, Ride, Cowboy Ride, Stick to Your Guns, I'll Be There for You. This is a great album. All right. So from Bon Jovi, I'm gonna go with Aerosmith. Get a grip. Now Aerosmith made a comeback with, I think it was Permanent Vacation and then Pump. Pump was really big. But to me, this is my favorite album. I mean, the tracks. I mean, you got Crying, Crazy, Amazing, which is a great song and a great guitar work by Joe Perry. It's a typical Aerosmith fun record, but I think the songs really stand out on this album. It's one of my favorites. And next, this is not the actual album, but I'm gonna use it This is Pearl Jam. The album I'm referring to is Versus. It was their second album, and it's to me it's still their masterpiece. I think 10 was a great record, but Versus they just up the game, and I love the lyrics by Eddie and the music by the band. Versus is a great record, and to me, I like 10 and Vitology, but to me, Versus is the masterpiece for me. So after that one, I'm gonna go with the first entry by this man. This is a controversial artist in terms of either you love him or hate him, but I love him. Bob Dylan. This is Love and Theft. This is a great album. After the 80s and early 90s, where he was making, I think, subpar records, they were still good. He came back with Time Out of Mind, which is an excellent record, but for me, this is a great record. Mississippi, is one of my favorite songs. By and By, Moonlight, Honest with Me, Poor Boy, Cry a While. Great, 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 great songs on that album. So after that, this is, I don't know, maybe people are gonna go, what? But I like it. Metallica Load. I know they were heading on a bit of, they were big on making music videos and stuff. But I like the songs on this record. Hero of the Day. I think it's a beautiful song. Until It Sleeps. It's a rocking song. The House that Jack Built. Mama Said. I just like the album. And it's from one of the albums I listen most to for some reason. Even more than the Black Album. I'm not saying it's better than the Black Album, but I just listen to it more. So for me, Low, that's another one of my favorites. So we're getting down to the top 10. That was the 10th. So for 9, Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. Kashmir, Night Flight. What else? Great, great, great record. I just like it. I think the band was really on top of the game for this one. It's varied. It has all types of songs, from rock, from long. I don't know. I can't say it, but I can explain it. But this is when I heard this album, and I discovered Led Zeppelin late, a few years back, and I mean that quickly became my second favorite band. And this is one of my favorite albums from them of all time. So I didn't pick much albums by the individual Beatles, but I had to pick this one. John Lennon's Imagine. It's just such a great album. I mean, John really found a way to combine his political aspect of music with commercial. The title track, of course. You got Jealous Guy, you got Crippled Inside, and George Harrison worked with John on this album, and he made some great guitar work. So this is the only album by an individual Beatle, but I had to put it. Okay, so after Imagine, Led Zeppelin 4, Stairway to Heaven. Uh, this is a masterpiece, I have to say. This is completely, from top to bottom, such a great record. It has a few songs, I think it has only 8 songs, but they're all great. I mean, from Black Dog to Rock and Roll, The Battle of Evermore, Going to California. Tremendous record. Okay, so now we got to the 6. 6, I'm using this one as an example, but I think of it as one double album. That's usually 1 and 2. Like I said, this is my favorite Guns N' Roses record. I love. I mean, it just has everything. It's like the Beatles' White Album. People complain it was too long. No, it has everything. I mean, Easy with his songs, Duff, Axels, it's great guitar work by Slash. I mean, Don't November Rain, You Could Be Mine, Don't Cry, all rock and roll songs, The Garden, Coma, which is a masterpiece of a song. Strange, great guitar work on that one. And now this is my top 5. Now this is where it gets serious. This is my absolute favorite albums, and the 5th and 4th, I'm gonna show them. This is number 5. Number 4. This is the first album that I love by the Beatles. So that's why I think it's special to me, and I put it on the list because of that. And I wrote either friend or album, just like a masterpiece. My third favorite record is by the Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. This is a special album. I think Paul Simon is one of the greatest songwriters of all time, and this album, the songs are just so poetic, so beautiful. The music, it's complex. It's just so. I think it's a perfect album. It's last. Sadly, it was their last. But what a record! If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend it. Bridge Over Troubled Water, Keep Your Customer Satisfied, The Boxer, The Only Living Boy in New York. Great, great, great tracks in this one. My second favorite album. This is the bootleg edition, but this is the Blood on the Tracks album by Bob Dylan. I think it's one of the. It's Bob Dylan at his best. It's just the songs are great. Tangled Up in Blue, Simple Twist of Fate, Shelter from the Storm. I mean, I know not everybody's into Dylan. I understand that, but I'm a big fan. So, and this is my second favorite album since the first time I heard it. And if you have seen my other videos and other things, you already know that my favorite Absolute album is the Beatles' White Album. Like I was saying for Guns, 30 songs, and they're all different. They're all unique. They're all fun, and they represent the best of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, and even Ringo. I mean, this is my absolute favorite record, the Beatles' White Album. So I hope you enjoyed my list, and like I said, share in the comments if you want to put your records. If I haven't listened to it, I would surely try to listen to it. I know there are bands like Pink Floyd that I haven't gotten the chance to really listen to it. I think Deep Purple is another. I've heard of bands that people really love, but I haven't gotten the chance, so that's why they're not on the list. I'm not saying they're bad bands, just that I haven't gotten the chance to really, really listen to their albums. So this is my list of my absolute favorite albums. Like I said, I'm going to try to do another video of my favorite artist because they will be different. Not all of my favorite artists are here. Most of them are. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video.